How many of y'all have older brothers and sisters? Okay, good. Do they ever do things to like, trick you or try to, maybe when you were even littler, they tried to scare you by telling you things that weren't true? You know, it was monsters under the bed and stuff like that. Well, my brother used to tell me that if I slept with my feet uncovered, that there was a monster under the bed who would come out and grab my toes and would drag me off the bed. And sometimes when I'd go to sleep and I'd kick the covers off my feet and I'd wake up in the middle of the night and I'd go, and cover my feet up right there for the monster to come and grab me. Well, another thing he used to tell me when I was real little, he used to tell me that there was a monster that lived down, all the way down in the septic tank. Okay, all the way down the septic tank. A monster lived down there. And since all the pipes were connected together, if for any reason you ever happened to get too close to a drain pipe, that the sewer monster might reach up and grab you and pull you down the pipe. Well, now, I didn't believe it, of course, but just to be on the safe side, because I knew my brother, and I knew whenever I would take a bath, if he ever got the chance, he would come in there and he'd pull the stopper out and make the water go down the drain. And if that happened, that the sewer monster would be able to come up and get me when I was in the tub. They can swim really good. Well, whenever I would take a bath, I would always lock the bathroom door so my brother couldn't get in there. Well, let me tell you what happened one day. One day I was out in the yard and I was getting willy dirty. Because one of the things I liked to do was to get willy dirty and then come in and fill a bathtub all the way to the top and get in and make a big wing all the way around the tub. And the reason I did that was so that I could show my mommy and give her a reason to show me how much she loved me, because the way she proved she loved me was cleaning up when I made a mess. And so I made a really big wing around it. Well, one day I went out in the yard and I got willy dirty. I looked almost like you. And I was really lucky. And I come in, and I got it, and I filled the tub all the way to the top. And I got in the tub, and I started splashing, and the water started getting all really dark, and it made a really nice wing all the way from one side. But I was so excited about doing it, I forgot to lock the bathroom door. And the next thing I was hearing was the doorknob was turning. And my brother come in, and before I could do anything, he reached in the tub and he pulled the stop out. And the water started going down the tub. And I tried to get up and jump out of the tub, but I wasn't fast. And I went, and it sucked me right down the pipe. And I went down the pipe and all the way across the house and to the kitchen, and where the pipe was turning and going down, and I got stuck in the pipe. And so I was going, Mommy! But my mommy couldn't hear me because she was in the living room vacuuming, because I went in and I made a really big mess so she could clean it up and show me how much she loved me. And the vacuum cleaner was running and she couldn't hear me. And the next thing I know, I was hearing these scratching sounds coming up the pipe. And I know the sewer monster was coming to me. And so I said, Mommy, come get me out of the pipe! And lucky for me, she turned off the vacuum cleaner and she could hear me calling. And she come into the kitchen, and just about that time, I could feel the claws grabbing my toes. Because you don't wear shoes enough when you take a bath. And so my toes were hanging, and the sewer monster started pulling me down the pipe. And that's why, and I learned why my mommy always said, don't never pour the grease down the sink. Because if you do and you're in the pipe and the sewer monster has your toes, you're just really slippery and you just slide right down the pipe. You can't stop yourself for nothing. And so my mommy, you're hearing, I go, Mommy, the sewer monster's coming and dragging me all the way down to the septic tank. And I have to live there forever and it smells really bad. And my mommy came over and she looked down in the sink and she says, Johnny, what are you doing down there? I said, don't never mind how I got here, just get me out. But my mommy couldn't fit her hand down in the pipe because her hand was too big. So she went into the bathroom and she got the plunger. And she every time she would go like this, I would go. And the sewer monster would pull me down. I go. And I got like 6 inches taller than I was before. And then finally she went really hard, and I hit the ceiling, and I came down and I landed right in the dog bowl. It was full of that really smelly, mushy dog food that comes out of a can. So I had to take another bath. Only this time I was more smarter, because I took and I pulled a dresser in from the bedroom, and I shut the door, and I pushed the dresser up against it, and then I took my daddy's hammer and nails, and I nailed nails all the way until my brother came in. But you don't have to do that. The only thing you have to remember is whenever you're taking a bath, you should always sit on the stopper. So the sewer monster don't get it.